Oh my goodness, there's frosting on my glasses. Jeez.
Okay, let's try this.
Hi, my name is Jamila. I have lemon cake and I'm here to just chit chat about the education system here in North Carolina. That's that on that. I don't know, I've been wanting to like rant about just the education system here for such a long time. And then we had like one of the craziest weeks ever. And then I was like, okay, yeah, we gotta talk about it. And it's not even just like the education system here in North Carolina. Like prejudice and racism and everything is so freaking apparent and obvious, like literally everywhere. So it's not like it's specific to North Carolina, but literally there's so many websites out there that says North Carolina is one of the worst states to teach in. So I'm simply quoting the articles at this point. It's currently like torrentially pouring rain right now, so if it sounds like there's some weird background noise, that's exactly what it is. Or it's my air conditioning unit, or it's my refrigerator. There's really no telling. I've only been in the education system in North Carolina for like over a year. Like this is my second year. And I'm not even a teacher anymore. I did a whole video about it. You can go watch it if you want. For some freaking reason, that video is like popular and I don't understand why. It's like even when you are not teaching, A, you're still a teacher. A, your life is at freaking risk. And it's so touch and go nowadays. I mean, it's always been like touch and go in the education system ever since whatever your Columbine was. But I feel like it's just progressively gotten worse. I mean, I think the shooting in Georgia was like one of the biggest ones of the year, but there has been many prior to that. And they haven't been getting talked about on the news. And fortunately, we didn't have a school shooting like within the building, but there was still like an active shooter like on campus and we still had to go on lockdown. And even though the student dropped out of school, like it was still a student that should have been like in his senior year that got murdered. And it's like that in and of itself is like, okay. And we kind of like all are fully aware that we work next to a gang neighborhood situation. Like, okay. In the same week that happened, we had someone bring ammunition to the school, bring an insane knife to the school. We had people pretending to have weapons and they actually had like alcohol. Like we have had so many different instances and crazy things. And if we take away all of that crazy stuff, we had so many freaking fights. And yeah, you know, we're gonna blame it on the full moon because apparently there's just scientific research about how like gravity affects teenagers and their decisions when it's a full moon and blah, 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 blah. But at the end of the day, in the United States, obviously you're not safe anywhere, but you're especially not safe when you're at freaking school. And I think that is like absolutely insane to me. Even though racism exists everywhere, and that's kind of been my like stopping point as far as like moving to another country, because no matter what, I'm gonna be hated in the country that I go to. It like just the simple safety element possibly of like going to work and like going to school, it's like almost enough to make me want to consider like moving like overseas. It's crazy. Like there are so many statistics out there about just like the amount of gun violence in the United States versus like other countries. And this is not me trying to be like hyper political or be like, you know, vote for this party, vote for that party, but this is just simply me talking about how like unsafe I feel when I go to work, and I want to feel safe going to work. And I genuinely hate that I don't. As teachers, we are genuinely not getting compensated for the like utter BS that we have to like deal with and the absolute craziness. Our statistics and curriculum make no sense to a certain degree depending on the subject. The amount of like work and micromanaging that goes into certain subjects but not other subjects is absolutely insane. There are teachers that know, oh, I teach this class, therefore I can like slack off. Oh, that's not like my problem, it's not my duty, or da 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 da. But then there's other teachers that are stressed out of their freaking mind because they teach like an EOC or an EOG course and they have to perform. They have to like basically prove like, oh, we deserve to be this letter grade school or whatever the case may be. And maybe this is like this in other states where there are like schools that are given letter grades, but even just that in and of itself is like ridiculous to me, because at the end of the day, especially with a lot of these public schools, it's simply children that legally have to go to school and are like zoned at these schools. So trying to force them to become these like super intelligent robots, if that's not who they're made to be, just for the sake of like your school being an A school, it's just kind of you know what I mean? There's so much pressure on kids, especially as they get older, but then when you go into the standardized testing element of it, it's even more pressure. And the curriculum in North Carolina, it makes no sense. The way that they go about things as far as just the resources for teachers are it's absolute garbage. Okay, it's so bad. And then once again, of course, teacher compensation. Teachers in general don't get paid enough, but if you are trying to figure out a state to teach in, as far as like starting teacher pay, don't let it be North Carolina, not with these state income tax percentages, absolutely not. And once again, as a teacher, you are only employed for 10 months out of the year, so you also have to, you know, be a responsible adult and make sure that you are paying yourself for those 2 months that you aren't in school, or in my case, just figure it out, take as many jobs as possible, and maybe even take out a loan. Oop, did I say that? I did. What keeps me going, why I wanted to stay in the education system, is the children. They are buttholes, but they are lovable buttholes. I think that's, especially in high school, so many people have given up on teenagers and given up on trying to honestly like manipulate their minds into becoming, like I mentioned earlier, these like super academic, intelligent robots that they just probably aren't meant to be. And instead of supporting them in their goals and their dreams and simply supporting them and them becoming who they're meant to be, they are fighting against the society that is trying to put them into a box, and a box that they don't belong in. One thing I do love about the school that I work at is that there are so many opportunities for kids who are interested in honors classes, but for kids who also aren't interested in honors classes. And the fact that we even teach like sociology at the school that I work at is absolutely amazing. I didn't even realize that, but then I like actually looked at the people that were coming into the library and just, you know, deep dive. There's so many different like opportunities for honors, and there's so many people who like care about the kids. And yeah, there's, you know, bad eggs, and I mean that's like at everywhere you go. Literally at work, you know, you work with bad eggs. I really thought, my dumb self, I really thought, oh, I'm gonna work in the media center and I'm not gonna be around a bad egg that ruins my day and gives me all sorts of problems. I lied to myself. Part of why we can't give up the education system, why we need to focus on the education system, we're so worried about the future and, you know, the planet like burning and, you know, climate change. And oh, somebody was calling me. I genuinely forgot what I was saying. Most of these kids are super sweet. Oh my goodness, if I could say their names and like legally not get in trouble or get fired, I might even get fired for making this video. But you know what? You live one time. Gas stations are always hiring for night shifts, so. But I would totally shout out all of the amazing kids. And I think I'll do that like as they graduate, but just the students, the ones that are bad, it's so frustrating because you know that you're being bad, and you start freaking out whenever a phone call is made to a guardian that you actually respect, but you're obviously not respecting the guardians in the building. So something has to be done for you to respect them for the like freaking hour, 15 minutes that you are around them. But then, and I don't, again, remember what I was saying, but I will say I stuck it out in the education system, and I continue to stick it out because I love helping these children. I love being a resource for them. If I could be a reference for another student, that'd be amazing. I've already written one reference letter, and it made me, I don't know what accident just happened, but it made my entire day, and it made me so happy. It made me feel like I was doing something right. We have 100 question state exams, which that in and of itself is absolute BS, because North Carolina, why do CTE classes, career technical education courses, give out 100 question state exams? Why does interior design? Why does construction? Why does culinary one? Why does food and nutrition? Why do all of the child development, like why do all these classes have a 100 question state exam? I'm asking just because I'm curious. But anyway, to give that exam out to a student and have a student get a 100, that means that a student that I taught got every single question correct, and that in and of itself is absolutely insane to me, and it made me feel good about myself, and it showed me that I was able to form a connection enough with a student that they wanted to listen to me. And now that I'm in the library, sweating my little tail off, consistently doing what I can, I'm doing what I can to not only help the students, but it almost feels like it's elevated to helping the teachers, because teachers in North Carolina are consistently being screwed over. And even though I get paid about the same, if not less, than a Chick-fil-A employee, I still want to provide those resources and be there for these teachers and help them out. But at the same time, even though I look like a child to a lot of these students, I am a teacher, I am an adult, I am an authority figure. And so you're not going to sit here and say slick stuff by me and think that it's cool. You're not going to sit here and hail Hitler in a football game by me and think that it's cool. You're not going to sit here and say a racial slur to a student or say something that is discriminatory or stereotypical or sexist or homophobic or whatever the case may be and think that I'm not going to say something to you. And not only am I not going to say something to you, but I am also going to find a way to get you written up, because why are you acting like this? You are showing your character, and it's fine. You want to, be a Trump supporter or whatever, you can do it outside of these walls. But what you're not going to do is you're not going to come to a building where there are kids who genuinely fear for their lives because of their race, because of sexuality, because of their ethnicity, and you're not going to make them feel unwelcomed and unwanted because of who they are. You're not going to do that. And that in and of itself, standing up for those students, I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. But there are also people who are crazy enough to come after the adults who stand up for those students. But at the end of the day, you are at school and there are so many different people. And it's like one of the best things about being in a public school is that you get to learn from so many different people. But teenagers, a lot of them are so like closed-minded, whether it be from whatever the heck is happening in their household, whatever they're being taught, or whatever they are seeing on the internet, or whatever, external organization they are affiliated. That was a Chipotle burp, that tasted nasty. Whatever external organization they are affiliated with, like they are influencing the way that they think and they are being closed-minded. But when you get into a public school system, you have to understand that there are going to be so many different people, and none of those people are worthy of being bullied. None of those people are worthy of whatever you have to say. And I want to instill in these students, and I think this is again another reason that I've stuck out in the education system. I am trying to teach these kids, like, there are some things in life you just don't care about. You just shouldn't care. And there are some things like, yeah, you should probably care, like graduating. We want to see you succeed. We want that 65 to become at least a 75. C's get degrees, my guy. You know what I'm saying? But I don't want you to care about whatever this person said or whatever this person wore to prom or to graduation or whatever the case may be, because at the end of the day, high school is such a minor detail in life. Granted, you recognize high school-ish behaviors and cliquey behaviors wherever you go, but it is such a minor moment in life, and it does nothing to shape who you are to a certain degree. You are not your fullest self, and you're also not your best self when you're in high school, but it begins the foundation of you becoming whoever you are meant to be. And maybe it is overcoming whatever you're overcoming, whether it's in school or outside of school. And if it is bullying, well, frick frack jack those bullies. Oh, I wanted to say a swear word right there, but it was so hard, but I kept my tongue back. Did you notice that? You become stronger because of those instances. And I love when people who like think that they're popular and think that they're these like great individuals are like incredibly humbled after high school. Like, why did you think high school was the end all be all? Your spray tan is melting. No, I just wanted to rant and just to talk about things that I've just experienced and am witnessing. And I don't know, I love being in the education system. I definitely don't get paid enough, and I definitely don't think this is gonna be Bro, you're lying to me. It's really nice being in the library because I am always on the go, always moving, which is very interesting to say because I should just be working with books, but no, technology. I am working with Chromebooks and computers and fixing all the things for all the people, which is perfectly fine because I'm getting to learn and witness and see things, and also kind of figure out, how can I tap into this child's psyche? Who do they trust? Who are they good around? And at the end of the day, it's like I'm a resource without them knowing that I'm being a resource, because I'm simply connecting them with people that are good for them, so that way they become the better versions of themselves. And it's hard to do that in an education system and a school system that is absolutely garbage, that is consistently changing things that don't need to be changed. I know certain schools are in like phase 1 of bringing on Infinite Campus, and we are one of the many schools in phase 2 as far as incorporating Infinite Campus, but that won't be our problem until next year. But just the simple fact that we're doing it, it's kind of like, why? Literally, who asked for it? So it's very interesting to me that the government can be like, oh, we need to make all these changes to the education system, but we're not going to actually change the curriculum. We're not actually going to fix the curriculum, because when you go through and see some of the things that like are questions on the tests, like none of those things and the materials on the tests line up with the curriculum that we're given for when we're not testing. You know what I'm saying? I just got icing on my finger. It's just all very interesting, and at the end of the day, I would love to safely go to work, and I would love to know that the kids understand and feel good about the education that they are receiving while I'm at work. But I don't think that that is the case for really anyone. I don't think the kids, you know, are receiving what they need to receive for the most part. I'm happy that they are developing relationships with adults that they trust, but you come to school to learn and you come to school to receive an education, and I don't think they are quite getting it. And it's not their fault, and it's not the teacher's fault. It's literally the curriculum of North Carolina. Thank you for hearing me chit chat and blubber blabber and rant for roughly 30 minutes. At least it's 30 minutes until I cut this crap down. If you stay until this point in the video, you're absolutely insane, but I love you for it. Okay, now I'm gonna say bye.